Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your host Kim.
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage
Pull up a comfy chair.
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 46 of A Double and Dice. And today we are back on to the train of female characters in Dice Masters. So we're back on to doing our series. And today we are going to talk about dun dun dun
Oracle.
Look at that, we said it at the same time.
Well, sort of at the same time. I thought you were leaving me a space so that I could do it. I don't want to talk about it as a train though, Kim. This isn't a train.
No.
Train brings up bad memories for Dice Masters players, like the great train crash. It delayed some of the Dice Masters stuff. So it's a series. I like the series of Dice Masters, female characters in Dice Masters.
Yes.
So yeah.
So we're bringing back our series that we did. So we did 4 before.
That's right.
Took a break, and we decided we'll do some more again. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think eventually we'll probably go through all of them, but you know, we're just
that might take us a few years.
Well, I mean, we need content, so there's no new product to talk about right now.
No.
But yeah. So anyway, but it's we want to talk about some more female characters in Dice Masters. So we picked Oracle today, which is a character that we had talked about previously doing in this series, and we put a pin in it because we learned in our vast research that Oracle is actually also Batgirl. So we thought we would maybe do Batgirl and Oracle together. However, we've decided that we're just going to do Oracle now, and we'll do Batgirl at some point later. Right, Kim?
Right.
So, should we talk about Madame Oracle?
We shall.
All right. So Oracle, in case you didn't know, in the comic books, her real name is Barbara Gordon, and that's how we found out that she was also a Batgirl. This isn't one of these like multiverse things as far as I can tell from my research. It has to do with something that happened to Barbara Gordon in a comic book that came out in 1988, where she was in her civilian clothes and she was attacked by the Joker. He shot her right through her spine and she became paralyzed. And as a result of that, she wasn't able to be Batgirl anymore. She couldn't do Batgirly things. So she took her other skills and made herself useful and came up with the code name of Oracle for herself at that point. So do we want to talk about Barbara Gordon's backstory a little bit, Kim? Maybe before we get into that?
Maybe just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so she was born to Roger C. Gordon and his wife Thelma in the suburbs of Ohio. And as a young girl, she wanted nothing more than to be a superhero. She spent endless hours designing superhero costumes and heroic identities for herself. When she was 13, her parents were killed in an automobile accident, and she was adopted by her uncle James Gordon. And then she moved to Gotham City with her uncle, her Aunt Barbara, and her cousin James Gordon Jr.
So wait, Commissioner Gordon is not anything to do with her?
Commissioner Gordon is James Gordon, isn't he?
It's James Gordon. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought his name was something else for some reason.
Maybe we should look that up. I'm working on assumptions. So she became infatuated with, of course, Gotham City's superhero, if you can call him a superhero, anti-hero, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says later learning that her uncle was actually in partnership. So yes, I believe that James Gordon is Commissioner Gordon.
Okay.
So she was inspired to become like her uncle and Batman. So she did a bunch of training, and that's more about her Batgirl persona. So we'll maybe skip over that and save that for our Batgirl episode. But yes, in 1988, in the graphic novel Batman the Killing Joke, you find out that the Joker shot her through the spinal cord and she became paraplegic, so she lost all feeling in her legs.
Well, I own that comic book. Maybe I should read it.
You do?
I do. I own Killing Joke, and I think they made a like a mini movie or something of it too, which I think I have as well.
Yeah. So after her accident, after she was assaulted by the Joker, She adopted the codename Oracle after a dream she had of herself as an all-knowing woman, and she applied for a grant from the Wayne Foundation to build a powerful computer setup so that she could make it in her bedroom and use her knowledge to earn money as a programmer and hacker on the internet before extending her skills to act as an information broker. She would gather and disseminate intelligence for law enforcement organizations and members of the superhero community. So she had a different alias that she used at some points called Amy Beddoes. She was anonymously offering her services to the government's Task Force X before officially becoming a member of the squad after being invited by Amanda Waller. And she ended up moving into an apartment within the Gotham City clock tower and took to recruiting field agents in political hotspots around the world after an incident where the United States Secret Service was trying to dismantle the hacker subculture as part of something called Operation Moonwitch. Let's see here. What else did we learn? She was involved with the Birds of Prey. And was a key part of keeping heroes safe. So it says Oracle frees new heroes from the inside of the Brainiac Harvester ship and guided them through the ship before calling in Superman and directing them to the nearest safe house. So that was one of the stories that she was involved in. She's a taskmaster for the mission Antimatter Matters during the anniversary event, the attack of the Anti-Monitor. So there's a lot of stuff that she did there. And it sounds like she was pretty important as her Oracle persona. And she also was, representative of people with disabilities in comics at a time in 1988 when there weren't a lot of people that were represented in comics in that way. So she still did superhero things and supported other superheroes and was involved and was also disabled or differently abled because of her paraplegia. Neat. So that is Oracle, and we'll talk a little bit more about her at some point in the future when we talk about Batgirl.
Right. Which I didn't even know she was both.
So. No, I didn't either until we did our first bit of research into her. And I also didn't know even then that there was Batgirl like before Oracle, and now apparently there's a Batgirl after Oracle. So there is something that we've learned, that she has had some kind of surgery and she has a spinal implant that allows her to move, but I don't have a lot of information about that. So we'll share that when we get into the Batgirl episode in the future.
So as Oracle, she's paralyzed.
She's paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah,
because the bullet went straight through her spinal cord, apparently. I don't know why the Joker did that. It's not very nice of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if really did he know who she was or whatnot, but maybe I'll read the comic book and let you know if they sell anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I suggest that you do that, Kim, and you let us know.
Yeah.
In a future episode, what's all about that. But yeah, it did say she was in her civilian attire when the accident happened. So
maybe she was just around at the wrong time, wrong place kind of thing.
Could have been.
Yeah. Because she wasn't anything at that point, right? Or was she Batgirl at the... Oh, okay.
But she wasn't in her Batgirl
right
outfit, costume, whatever we want to call it, at the time that she was shot. She was just Barbara Gordon.
Right.
Yeah. So Kim, that's Oracle. So let's find out if Oracle's cards match her persona.
Yeah. So she has 4, and they all came from the World Finest set, and which is a great set. That was one of the best ones, I think. So she is DC, and I think there was an alt card to one of these, and I can't remember which one it is, but her first one is actually, which you mentioned, called Clock Tower Surveillance. So there you go.
Yeah, she lives in the clock tower.
Yep. And it's a 3 cost. She's a masked character. And these are all affiliated with Batman family.
And they're all from the World's Finest set, right?
Yeah, World's Finest set. And they're all commons, actually. So there's no uncommon or rare or super rare with her.
Yeah, so just like starters and commons, probably.
Yeah, it looks like from the starter and then from the packs. Yeah, there was World's Finest packs, right? So you got one from the pack. So Clock Tower reads, while Oracle is active, your opponents pay 1 more to purchase each die with a purchase cost of 2 or less.
Well, I could see that being very effective.
Yeah.
If you're playing a team with a lot of low cost people, or 2 cost people or 1 cost people. What was in the meta back then with World's Finest, like Morphing Jar from Yu-Gi-Oh was probably out there. It was a 1 cost mask, right?
Yeah, and I think it was like Cobalt was out there. It was one. I think he's a Swarm guy. I think.
Yeah. Isn't the Guy Gardner dude? Isn't he a 2 cost?
He's a 2 cost. Yep. So
any die with a purchase cost of 2 or less, your opponents have to pay 1 more while she's active.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her other one is a 4 cost Master Investigator. And also, so these are all while active abilities. So while Oracle is active, your opponents pay 1 more to use each global ability. I think that was a popular one back in the day.
I think so. I think that would be a very popular one because taxing globals is always good.
Yes. And it's pretty much it was a control card, I guess, right?
Isn't there something in the modern meta that does that now? Is it Pip the Troll?
I think so.
Yeah, well, Pip the Troll is active. Your opponents pay 1 more to use each global ability. He's a 4 cost shield, though.
Okay, so same cost.
Yeah.
To do that one. And then her other one is called Hacker. Also a 4 cost. While Oracle is active, your opponents pay 1 more to field each character die other than psychics.
Okay.
That can hinder you too.
Yeah, I love that fielding. I love playing the fielding tax. I don't like playing against it. I did it when I was playing a game with Rob a while back. We recorded it for Dice Station Zebra's YouTube channel. And I think he was a little annoyed. It was a basic action that did that. I don't remember what it was, but it was a basic action we were playing, and it was making him pay more to field his characters, so it was kind of annoying.
Well, I think I know that one. Is it where they field more until the next turn and you field less or something like that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember the name of that one.
It might be from Warhammer?
Possibly.
Yeah. But anyway, paying more, making your opponent pay more. All of these have to do with your opponent's paying more while she's active.
Yeah. So she's pretty much a control character. Like you can use it to any type of control. And her last one is Internet Interference. While Oracle is active, opponents must pay 1 each time they use an action die.
Yeah, so these are all kind of annoying, and I could see how it would be difficult to pick just one of them to play.
Yeah,
I think they're all good depending on what you're doing, right? Like I think at the time, like we said, like Guy Gardner, Morphing Jars, Kobolds, etc., that 3 cost mask making people pay 1 more to purchase any of their dice that cost 2 or less. That's really annoying, but I think probably the global ability or the action die one are the big ones, because typically if you're using actions or you're using globals, you need those for support, and if you're in globals, you're doubling the cost, right?
Yeah, and in action you're actually have to purchase to actually play it. So
purchase it, roll it.
Yep, and then pay to play it. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Now her stats are not bad. I mean, she is an active character, so you want her defense to be a little good. So she's a 0/0/0 across the board for fielding.
Awesome.
So pretty good. Her level 1 is a 1/3, level 2 is a 1/4, and her level 2 is a 2/5. So not bad defense, because you do want her to stay in the field.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't want her to be pinged out too easily, unless someone stat flips her, but that's not too bad. I don't think that's too bad.
No, her stats are pretty good. I think she's pretty effective. And I mean, I didn't play back in the World's Finest days. I don't even think I
Mm-hmm.
own any from World's Finest, but I have definitely heard people talk about Oracle, and I'm pretty sure it's the global ability one.
Yeah, I think most people played that one. I wonder if that's the one that was probably the alt card promo that was made. I don't think I've ever seen any of the other three played before.
That's the thing when you have a card that has so many good versions.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of migrates to one version of it, and that's the one that always gets played. Like
Yeah.
I think about in the current modern meta, you've got the Gazer. All three
Right.
of those Gazers are good, but everybody plays the Intimidate one,
Right. Yeah.
right? But if you go back into the dmNorth webpage back in 2020 or 2019 or sometime, I wrote articles about all three of the Gazers because they were all effective and good in different situations. So I think Oracle would be that same type of thing. If she was a modern card, it'd be the same type of thing I'd be writing about right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they each have a very situational purpose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have to sort of pick your battles.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, let's say you know a theme coming up that you think you're going to play one of her and what would be more effective. But if you're going in blind, then I think most people will probably pick the global ability one.
Probably.
I mean, I like all of her cards. All her cards they do something pretty effective. But I think more people use global ability, so that's the one they'll go to if you're going blind into something. But if you knew ahead of time and you can, like people will play action dice or 2 or less or something, then you can probably pivot to one of those.
Yeah. I think it's easier to KO stuff now or get rid of it than it used to be. Right? Yeah. There's so many things like, it's harder to keep stuff in the field if you think about Rare Spider-Man Forever. Spider-Man Public Menace from Infinity Gauntlet. When he attacks, you just spin that die, right? There's nothing preventing you from doing it unless you can blank that Spider-Man or have his text ignored. So it's easy to get rid of stuff. So I don't know how great while active stuff is going to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say it's worth playing, and Kim, maybe you should build some teams around some of these other oracles.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played her in a long time, and I like her art in the card, so.
It is cool art.
Yeah.
So what Oracle did you play with? Were you an Oracle player? Was it the Global Ability one, Master Investigator? What Oracle would you build around now? If you were building something, let us know. We'd love to hear from you and your thoughts on what your Oracle team might look like.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I like that one. That was a good one.
I think so.
Yeah, she's like a two-parter. She's like two personalities that we gotta talk about another time. So
yeah, we'll talk more about Barbara Gordon in the future.
AKA Batgirl, AKA Oracle. All right, what's up? I think there's not the usual going around, and Dice Masters. We just finished Roll for the North event. And there's another event moving on, but by the time this episode drops, it would be done. That's the Dice Masters versus Cancer tournament that the Ministry of Dice boys are putting on. Mm-hmm. Which I'm going to be playing in.
Yay!
So that should be a fun night, a fun day. And then we have our usuals, the Tuesday nights WDA, which I'm still hosting. Yeah, I don't know where Ross is, so and I have the next 3 weeks themes up. Yeah, he's busy. He's a busy guy, I guess.
He's got a baby at home. He's got a new house.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a very nice person in you, Kim, that continues to host his weekly.
Yeah. Yep, and we have the next 3 weeks themes already up there. So look at us, eh? I asked for requests and on WDA last Tuesday, so we got about 4 4 themes, so we're good.
So if
One's
you're listening to this episode right when it comes out, what's the theme for a double in dice by Dice Social presents Weekly Dice Arena?
We are actually revisiting Roll for the North 2.
Nice.
So we're doing a double single affiliation, but yeah, that was it, a double single affiliation.
Yep.
So half your team has to be one affiliation, half your team has to be another affiliation, but this time we're making it modern only.
Nice.
And yellow event. Or yellow light. And so a little bit more competitive. But no other bans. Other than obviously your basic actions has to come from the IP universe that you've picked for your affiliations.
Gotcha.
But no other like hard restrictions or anything like that. So, so everybody wanted to revisit that. So we'll do that on Tuesday.
It's not a double single affiliation, Kim?
I don't know. No.
I still think we should try that at some point.
A double? Yeah.
Yeah, everything has to have 2 affiliations.
You know what? We have an extra slot before the year end. Maybe I'll put that one in.
Slide it in there, Kim.
Double. All right, done.
Okay.
And then Thursdays, Dice Fight, 4 o'clock Eastern. And I think that's what it is. We already passed our Dice Social for November, so that happened at the beginning, and we're still undecided if we're going to do one in December.
Yeah, December's a tough month because there's a lot of stuff going on. So we'll let you know if something comes up, but if not, then we'll be back in January.
New Year. Yep. In the new year. Can you believe it? It's almost like...
No.
a month and a half away.
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that it is so close to 2022. I don't know where 2021 went.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different podcast.
As we look back on 2021. All right, well, we actually have some things in the dice bag.
We have a lot of things in the dice bag, Kim.
Yeah, see?
We put out the call and you guys answered, so we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I think I'm going to start with the one we got from Facebook, Kim.
All right.
So we posted our episode on Facebook. Kim does this every Monday when the podcast comes out. And we got a comment from Craig. We haven't heard from Craig in so long. Remember Craig?
I do remember Craig.
Craig Hubner, and he commented on our last episode, and he said, when you provide the best bi-weekly Dice Masters podcast on the planet, maybe there are just weeks after people hear your show that they sit back in appreciation knowing that nothing needs to be said. They just wait for the next great show. So that is like one of the nicest things that I've ever had anyone say to me and Kim. I do not necessarily agree that we have the best bi-weekly podcast episode on the planet, but I appreciate you saying it, Craig. You definitely made our day by providing that feedback, so thank you so much, and we are glad that you're enjoying the podcast.
Yes, thank you, Craig.
So that certainly gave me a warm and fuzzies. So that was what we heard from Craig. We heard from some other folks. Who else did we hear from, Kim?
Everyone's favorite hero, Donnie. Actually, everyone's fave hero, Donnie.
Yeah.
On the YouTubes. Yeah, so Craig answered us on our post. Yeah, our Facebook post.
Yeah.
Okay. When the YouTube dropped? Oh, no, when the article dropped.
When the article dropped on DM Unlimited Facebook page.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So Donnie was on the YouTubes, as he always is, and he replied back with, I really enjoy the thought process behind team building. So our last episode, we built a team for Gaming versus Cancer, which does not give me quite as many raffle tickets as I thought it would.
She tried, folks. She tried.
It's still single affiliation, even if there's only 7 cards, but there has to be 8. So I did come up with a workaround. I don't know if Chris would assign this or not, but if I put Spider-Man Superior Team Up on the team, He's from Infinity Gauntlet. He's a super rare, and he gains the affiliations of all of the cards on the team. I don't know if that would count or not, but I have a feeling that Chris would say no because it's not printed on the card. But if he said yes, then that would give you the extra 4 tickets for the single affiliation. So, I mean, this podcast is coming out after Gaming versus Cancer, so there's no way to know for sure, but I'm just throwing it out there.
I'll let you know if anybody plays a Black Order team.
Perfect. So he said also it's fun to try new things with build challenges. In his local group, he always tries to make cards and combos work that are out of the ordinary. It keeps the game fun for him. I agree with that, Donnie, and I think Kim, you do too.
Yes.
Always trying something new and different.
Yeah.
He said if he was able to play, he thinks that he would pick the Justice Box and Team Packs because he hasn't played much with them. I think that would be a good set to pick. It's the Justice Box and Team Packs have some really great stuff in there.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Donnie's not able to play. I think he works on Saturdays.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So, and then we got some direct feedback on the Discord. I heard from Jackalope Spam, who sent me a direct message by adding me as @JoceStitch on Discord. And he said he's interested to see how the achievements for the extra tickets will affect the variety of the teams on the day of Gaming versus Cancer. He said, if you use a modern set, which gives you +2, match affiliation, which gives you +4, common and uncommon gives you +3, and 3+ globals gives you +2, you can start with an extra 11 raffle tickets. The only way to do that is through Infinity Gauntlet, and then the only affiliations with 8 cards are Avengers or Villains. So he said that we'll essentially get 2 different teams from a lot of players. Even then, I think the Villains have a stronger chance at a better team. It almost makes him want to play something more fun and different, even though I'd get less tickets. So that's interesting that that's the only way to get that number of tickets.
But I thought uncommon was not a part of it. It has to be commons only.
No, it's commons and uncommons.
Really? Wait.
Yeah, that's what we built last week, Kim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with
Black Order. I'm thinking it was only commons only.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be from that. Not from Infinity Gauntlet only.
But if you want the modern achievement as well, the only way you can get commons and uncommons is through Infinity Gauntlet because it's the only non-collectible set.
Right. Yeah. If you want uncommon, yeah.
If you want that achievement. So they did say that commons and uncommons only count if they came from collectible sets. They didn't count from like the team packs.
Right.
Yeah. Or the campaign boxes. He said, of course, the timing for this revelation is all wonky. You're likely to record before the event and release the podcast after timey-wimey, so who knows if it's even useful speculation. It's always useful speculation, Nick. Always 100% of the time. He will say, though, that Black Order is a solid choice for trying single affiliation. Too bad a lot of their best cards are rare. I mean, I think there's some good cards in the uncommon slot as well, and the common slot that we picked, but there are some really good rare ones that we eliminated from our team building because we wanted that common and uncommon affiliation, or uncommon, common rarity achievement. He said also he loves the super rare Thanos. Field a Black Order, and then use Thanos' ability to KO something along with a when fielded effect for free. You don't even have to buy Thanos. I'm a fan of the rare Ebony Maw with the super rare Thanos, so you can keep re-rolling your opponent's dice. So those are cards we didn't talk about in our build challenge last week because we were focused on, as we mentioned, just the commons and uncommons.
Right. Which, now that I look at it, won't work. I won't get that achievement from my team.
No.
No, because it's from a campaign box.
Nope, you won't get that achievement.
Ooh.
Sorry. Build a new team.
I don't want to build Infinity Gauntlet.
You made 4 teams already. Wouldn't any of them meet that?
Nope.
Oh. Start over.
That's okay. I'll just win all my games with my team. That's my goal.
Well, you can say what your team is because this is not coming out till after the event.
That's true. I was thinking to do a Imperial from Warhammer affiliations team.
Imperium?
Is it Imperium or Imperial? Imperium? Yeah, with Orbital Strike.
Nice.
But now that I look at it, because I don't read fine print, it looks like the commons and uncommons won't work. Yeah.
Well, the commons and uncommons give you only +3 tickets.
Yeah, so I'll be losing 3 because it's coming from a campaign box.
Yeah, so you'd still get the modern set, the match affiliation, and do you have 3 plus globals?
Yes.
So you'd still get all that. So you're still going to get 9 tickets.
Yep.
Or sorry, 8 tickets to start.
Yep.
So. Yeah. So then we also heard from Collector Rob, aka Rob Pettifor, aka Rob from Breath Weapon X.
Yep.
He also sent me a Discord message, and he said, I listened to the podcast today. I have 2 team ideas. One is an Avengers from Infinity Gauntlet team, using all commons and uncommons, 3 globals, and the modern set gives me +11 tickets. From
Look at that. I think they were talking.
Very similar to what Nick had come up with. He said, my other team idea is to try and take advantage of the fact that most people will be using 3 or more globals, so picking rare Bizarro from World's Finest that has Overcrush and gets +2A, +2D for each character with a global that the opponent has on their team. So he will get a minimum buff of +2/+2 if they go for that option. The second option is only worth 6 base tickets, though. The other issue is that he's a 7 cost, and the ramp options in World's Finest are almost non-existent, he said. So I said, well, I said, it sounds fun. I said, so just hope your opponent brings ramp.
Yes, always hope for that.
Yeah. So, yeah, so it looks like Nick and Rob came up with a similar idea on that.
So we know what they're going to be playing. No.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly they are. So. Yeah. Nick also had added to his message after I recorded it for our podcast notes here. He said, this sort of 2 possible teams idea popped up in the event channel. He said that the Ministry of Dice seems to have overlooked that if you went full optimization, it would only lead to a couple of options to choose from. I think they're out there focusing on just seeing what people will come up with. I don't know. I mean, I listened to the Ministry of Dice this week when it came out, and they were talking about the event, and there was a lot of conversation around, are people going to optimize for raffle tickets, or are people going to just play the sets that they want to play? And they were sort of, split down the middle. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out, Kim, and you'll have to let me know after the event how you did.
Yeah.
And
I'm actually really curious if anybody actually has negative. Who's going to bring the Becky just for the global? And
or who's going to put the Thor and Godcatcher on the same team?
Nobby, Ultraman. What else were there? Godcatcher. All those ones, right?
Yeah. So really great feedback, team Dice Double.
We haven't come up with a name for them yet.
The name. I'm calling them a team now. I feel like I'm at work. Hey team, I'm doing my conference call. No, but yeah, we have to come up with it. We gotta come up with one. We had some great suggestions. We just gotta finalize on one. So anyway, but to all of you out there that took some time to write us a note, provide us feedback, and share your thoughts, we really do appreciate it, and we feel it's a really important part of our podcast. And when we don't have it, we feel like it's lacking. The podcast is lacking because your thoughts,
we're lacking,
all of that sort of stuff. It helps us, come up with more content, and it really makes us feel more like a community. So we really do appreciate it and want to thank everyone who does reach out from time to time. You're the best.
Thank you.
So on that note, Kim, have we got anything else for today?
I think that's it.
Okay. Well, this is a little bit of a shorter episode, but that's all right. It's okay to have a short one. and I'm sure there'll be a long one later that makes up for it. So if you want to reach out and provide us any feedback, and remember, you don't have to have your feedback read on air. If you don't want us to say anything about what you've sent, just let us know that you don't want us to read it on the podcast, and we won't. You can send us an email at tripledpodcast@dm-north.com. You can leave a comment on our episode post at dm-north.com. You can leave a comment on our Facebook, which is dmNorthTV. You can also do that on Instagram or Twitter. Same handle there, dmNorthTV. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/dmNorthTV, or on YouTube, same thing, youtube.com/dmNorthTV. And you can always send us a message on Discord. You've got at SuperK for Kim and at JoceStitch, that's JOCE Stitch for me. And also, if you haven't done so already, you can join us over on the DM North TV's Discord channel, which is new, right, Kim?
That's right.
So we have started our own Discord over at DM North TV with a bunch of different channels and a bunch of different content conversations happening there. There's a HeroClix channel that's getting a little bit more interaction that mostly Rob from Dice Station Zebra, and I have been engaging with some folks about HeroClix, and there's all kinds of other gaming stuff there, and the meme channel seems pretty popular. So
the what channel?
Meme.
Oh, Pete and mean. I'm like, we don't have no meme channel.
No, there's not mean. Meme.
Meme. You know what's funny? I think the other day I was telling my husband and I said Mimi.
A Mimi?
He's like, it's not Mimi. It's meme. I'm like, we have a Mimi channel.
You're so funny. You're the best. So head over. We'll put a link in the show notes, and I think you can also access it from the website dm-north.com. So until next time, on a double on dice.